The transport ship Bright Future moved through the dark space between stars. Inside its metal walls, families laughed and talked. Children ran through the corridors, excited about their new home on the planet Kepler 442b. Parents packed boxes and checked their supplies. Everyone felt happy and safe. Then the warning alarm started screaming. Captain Rodriguez grabbed the controls. On his screen, 3 massive ships appeared. They were shaped like giant insects made of dark metal. Red lights glowed along their hulls. The ships belonged to the Valorian Empire, the most powerful military force in the galaxy. "This is Valorian Hive Commander Zekthara," a voice buzzed through the speakers. "Your ship will stop now. We will inspect your cargo. Do not resist." Captain Rodriguez had no weapons. The Bright Future was just a civilian transport. He stopped the ship and waited. The Valorian soldiers came through the airlocks like a flood of armored nightmares. They stood tall on 6 legs, their insect bodies covered in black combat suits. Each soldier carried plasma weapons that glowed with deadly energy. Their eyes were multifaceted and cold, showing no emotion. "Everyone to the main cargo bay." The soldiers clicked and buzzed. Now, the families gathered together. Parents held their children close. The Valorians moved through the ship, tearing open containers, scanning everything with their equipment. They were rough and careless. Then one child, a boy named Marcus Chen, who was 9 years old, started crying. He was scared. He wanted his mother. A Valorian soldier turned toward him. The insect warrior saw the crying as weakness. In Valorian culture, weakness deserved punishment. The soldier raised one metal-covered leg and struck Marcus across the chest. The boy flew backward and hit the wall. His arm bent at a wrong angle. Chaos erupted. Parents rushed forward to protect their children. The Valorians responded with violence. They used the backs of their weapons, their armored limbs, low-power plasma bursts. 21 children were hurt. Some had broken bones. Others had deep cuts. A few had minor burns from the plasma weapons. The parents were held back by armed guards. They screamed and fought, but they could not reach their children. The Valorians finished their inspection, found nothing illegal, and left. Their ships disappeared into the darkness. Captain Rodriguez immediately sent an emergency message to Earth. He sent medical reports, video recordings, everything. The message traveled through space at faster than light speed, carried by quantum communication systems. 3 days later, the response came. Not from politicians or diplomats. From the military. General Sarah Chen commanded humanity's 3rd Fleet. Her fleet protected the outer colonies, fought pirates, and defended human space. She was 53 years old with gray hair she kept tied back. Her face had scars from old battles. She had fought in 7 major conflicts and had never lost. She sat in her command chair on the flagship Indomitable. Around her, the bridge crew worked at their stations. Screens showed star maps, ship positions, and tactical data. Everything was calm and professional. Then she read the medical reports about the children. Her aide, Commander Jackson, watched her face carefully. He had served under General Chen for 12 years. He knew her moods, her thoughts, her patterns. Right now, he expected anger. He expected rage. He expected immediate orders to attack. Instead, General Chen started laughing. It started as a small chuckle. Then it grew louder. Soon she was laughing so hard that tears ran down her face. She held her stomach and leaned back in her chair. The sound echoed across the bridge. The crew stopped working. They stared at their general. They looked at each other with confusion and worry. Had the general gone crazy? Commander Jackson carefully approached her chair. "Sir, are you all right?" General Chen wiped her eyes. She was still smiling. "Get me a direct line to that Valorian Hive commander. Visual transmission. I want him to see my face, sir." "Do it now, Commander." Jackson sent the transmission request through diplomatic channels. The Valorians, confident in their power, accepted immediately. They appeared on the main screen. Hive Commander Zekthara filled the display. His insect head was massive, with mandibles that could crush metal. His compound eyes reflected light like dark crystals. Behind him stood rows of Valorian warriors, all in their battle armor. "Human General." Zekthara clicked. His words translated by computers. "Have you contacted us to surrender? Your species is wise to avoid war with the Valorian Empire." General Chen looked at him. Then she started laughing again. Zekthara's mandibles twitched in confusion. His warriors shifted behind him. Across the galaxy, Dozens of other species monitored this transmission. Everyone expected the human general to beg for peace or threaten revenge. No one expected laughter. "I'm sorry," General Chen said, catching her breath. "I'm sorry, it's just... You really don't understand what you've done, do you?" "We understand perfectly," Zekthara said. "We have demonstrated the power of the Valorian Empire. Your weak young could not withstand even minor discipline. You will submit, or we will return with greater force." General Chen shook her head, still smiling. "Commander, let me explain something about human children. Last year, young Marcus Chen, the boy your soldier struck, broke his arm falling off a bicycle. Do you know what a bicycle is? It's a human toy. 2 wheels, no safety features, children ride them down hills at high speed. For fun." Zekthara said nothing. "His sister Emma broke 3 ribs playing something called rugby," General Chen continued. "That's a game where children deliberately crash into each other at full speed. Again, for fun. My own daughter fractured her leg skiing. That's when humans strap smoothboards to their feet and throw themselves down mountains covered in ice." She leaned forward. Her smile was still there, but her eyes had changed. They were cold now, calculating. 21 injured children, Commander. Broken bones, some cuts, minor burns. That's a Tuesday afternoon at any human school playground. Our children heal from injuries that would kill adults of most species. We evolved on a planet that actively tried to murder us every single day. The bridge of the Indomitable was completely silent. Every human crew member was listening. "But here's what you don't understand," General Chen said softly. "We let our children take risks. We let them get hurt learning about the universe. We accept accidents and mistakes as part of growing up. That's not weakness, Commander. That's preparation." She stood up from her chair. "What we don't accept, what we will never tolerate, is someone else hurting our children deliberately. Someone outside our species. Someone like you." Zekthara's mandibles clicked rapidly. "You threaten the Valorian Empire? You are one small fleet. We have thousands of ships." "I'm not threatening you, Commander," General Chen said. Her smile was completely gone now. "I'm explaining the situation. You've activated something very old in the human brain, something we've carried since we lived in caves and fought predators with rocks and sticks. We call it Mama Bear mode. Your metaphors mean nothing to us." "Then let me use simple words," General Chen said. "You hurt human children. Now we're going to hurt you back. Not quickly. Not with mercy. We're going to show you what happens when you make a species of persistence predators decide you're a threat to their young." She sat back down. "Third Fleet, begin pursuit operations. I want eyes on that task force every single second of every single day. Don't fire a single shot. Just follow them everywhere." Zekthara's mandibles spread in what might have been a smile. "You will follow us? That is your response? The Valorian Empire laughs at your weakness." General Chen's expression didn't change. "We'll see who's laughing in a few weeks, Commander." Chen out. The transmission ended. Commander Jackson approached quietly. "Sir, the fleet is ready." "What are our exact orders?" General Chen pulled up the medical files on her screen. She looked at pictures of the injured children. Most were already smiling in their hospital beds. Humans healed fast. "We're going to teach the Valorians about human patience," she said. "And then we're going to teach them about human vengeance. Pass the word to all ships. No one fires until I give the order. But I want those Valorian bastards to see us in their nightmares." "Yes, sir." The Third Fleet changed course. 67 human warships turned as one and began the hunt. In her quarters that night, General Chen looked at a photo on her desk. Her own daughter, age 12, grinning with her broken leg in a cast. The cast was covered in drawings and signatures from friends. Children were resilient. They bounced back from injuries that would destroy adults, but that didn't mean you could hurt them without consequences. "General." Chen allowed herself one more quiet laugh. Then she began, "Planning the Valorians' destruction." The Valorian task force moved through the Deneb sector, heading back to their home territory. Hive Commander Zekthara sat in his command throne, pleased with himself. The inspection had been successful. The humans had been taught their place in the galactic order. Then the sensor operator made a clicking sound of alarm. "Commander, we have contacts. Multiple ships just exited hyperspace behind us." Zekthara turned his compound eyes toward the tactical display. 67 signatures appeared on the screen. All human warships, all maintaining a precise distance of exactly 50,000 kilometers. "Hail them," Zekthara ordered. No response came. The human ships just followed. They matched the Valorian course exactly. When the task force turned, the humans turned. When they accelerated, the humans accelerated, always maintaining that exact distance. Fire a warning shot across their formation, Zekthara commanded. Plasma cannons fired. Brilliant streams of superheated matter crossed space. The human ships didn't even activate their shields. The shots passed harmlessly ahead of them, still no response. Still following. 2 days passed like this. The human fleet became a constant presence on every sensor screen. Valorian crew members started glancing nervously at the tactical displays. The humans never came closer, never attacked, just watched. Zekthara tried to contact General Chen repeatedly. She never answered. But every 6 hours, exactly on schedule, the human fleet transmitted something on all frequencies. It was a medical report. Patient, Marcus Chen. Age 9, the automated voice said in perfect galactic standard. Compound fracture of the right ulna. Contusions across chest and back. Patient is in stable condition. Estimated recovery time 6 weeks. Note from attending physician. Marcus states this is his second broken arm. Previous injury occurred during skateboarding accident. Patient shows no sign of trauma and has asked when he can return to normal activities. The broadcast would repeat the report for 1 hour. Then it would move to the next child. Patient, Emma Rodriguez, age 7. Lacerations across left arm requiring 32 stitches. Minor concussion. Patient is stable and alert. Note from physician. Emma wanted to know if her scars would look cool. She seems excited about showing them to her friends. Other species across the galaxy started monitoring these transmissions. The report spread through diplomatic channels, news networks, and private communications. Everyone listened. Everyone wondered what the humans were doing. On the 5th day, General Chen finally accepted a communication request from Zekthara. Her face appeared on his screen. She was sitting in her command chair, perfectly calm. She was drinking something hot from a ceramic cup. "Commander," she said pleasantly, "how are you enjoying your journey home?" "What is the meaning of this pursuit?" Zekthara demanded. "You follow us like scavengers. You broadcast meaningless medical data. Either attack or leave." General Chen took a sip from her cup. "I'm teaching you something, Commander. You made a category error." "Do you know what that means?" "Human philosophical games mean nothing to the Valorian Empire." "It means you put something in the wrong category," General Chen explained. Her tone was patient, like a teacher with a slow student. "You looked at those injuries you caused and thought they were severe. You thought you were demonstrating power. You thought we would be afraid." She set down her cup. "But those injuries aren't severe by human standards. They're routine. Our children get hurt worse playing games. So when you sent us those medical reports expecting us to surrender, I laughed. Because you fundamentally misunderstood what you were dealing with." "Your young are weak," Zekthara said. "We barely touched them and they broke." "Let me tell you about human history," General Chen said. She pulled up a holographic display beside her chair. Images appeared in the air between them. "This is called football. American football specifically. Children as young as 6 years old play this game. They wear armor and deliberately smash into each other at full speed. Broken bones are common. Concussions happen regularly, and human parents let their children play this game voluntarily. New images appeared. Humans on skis flying down mountains. Humans climbing vertical rock faces. Humans riding bicycles off ramps, spinning in the air. We have thousands of activities specifically designed to injure our children in controlled ways. We call it building character, learning limits, developing courage. Our young actively seek out dangerous situations because that's how humans grow strong." Zekthara's mandibles clicked in confusion. "This is madness. You deliberately harm your own young." "No," General Chen said sharply. "We let them take risks. We let them test themselves against the universe. That's completely different from an outside force harming them. Do you understand the distinction?" "Your words are meaningless. Injury is injury," General Chen sighed. "That's the category error. When Marcus Chen breaks his arm riding a bicycle, his parents comfort him, help him heal, and eventually let him ride bicycles again. They accept the injury as part of learning and growing, but when your soldier broke his arm deliberately with malice as an act of dominance, that's a completely different category." She leaned forward. "The first category we tolerate. We encourage it even. The second category activates something very old in human psychology. We become what we call mama bears. Do you know what a bear is, Commander? I do not care about your animal metaphors. A bear is a large predator from Earth. Female bears with cubs are among the most dangerous creatures on our planet. If you threaten a bear's children, the mother will fight you to the death. She will never stop. She will never give up. She will pursue you across mountains and rivers and forests until either you're dead or she is. General Chen smiled, but there was no warmth in it. Humans have that same instinct, Commander, but we're smarter than bears. We have starships and weapons and the patience of a species that used to hunt prey for days without stopping. You didn't just hurt our children. You activated millions of years of evolution that specifically prepares us to destroy threats to our young. Zekthara was silent for a moment. Around him, his crew members had stopped working. They were all listening. You speak of evolution and instinct, Zekthara finally said. The Valorian Empire has conquered 200 star systems. We have crushed species far older and more powerful than yours. Your threats mean nothing. I'm not threatening you, General Chen said. I'm explaining what's happening. Right now as we speak, detailed reports about what you did are being broadcast to every human colony. Every civilian is seeing the medical files. Every parent is looking at pictures of those injured children. She gestured at something off-screen. New images appeared on Zekthara's display. They showed human civilians gathering in public spaces. Thousands of them. Millions. All watching screens that displayed the medical reports. Do you know what humans do when they see children being hurt by an outside threat? They unify. Political differences disappear. Religious divisions become meaningless. Economic conflicts are forgotten. Every human becomes part of the same pack, protecting the same young. General Chen's voice dropped lower. You created something you don't have words for in your language. We call it righteous fury. It's not hot anger that burns out quickly. It's cold determination that never stops. Every human in our space now knows your name, Commander. They know your face. They know what you did. We are not afraid of your mob, Zekthara said. They're not a mob, General Chen corrected. They're parents, teachers, siblings, grandparents, and they all agree on one thing. You need to face consequences. She stood up from her chair. So here's what happens next. My fleet will follow you everywhere. We'll be there when you sleep. We'll be there when you eat. We'll be there when you dock at stations and when you jump to hyperspace. You'll never be alone again. You'll see our ships on every sensor scan for weeks. This is psychological warfare, Zekthara said. It will not work. It's already working, General Chen replied. Look at your crew, Commander. They keep glancing at their sensors. They're getting nervous. They're making mistakes. You've already had 3 navigation errors in the past 2 days. Small ones, but they're adding up. Zekthara looked around his bridge. She was right. His crew members were showing signs of stress. The constant presence of the human fleet was wearing on them. And we'll keep broadcasting those medical reports, General Chen continued. Every 6 hours. Every single child. We want you to know their names, their ages, their injuries. We want you to understand that they're not statistics. They're individuals. They're someone's son or daughter. Sentimentality is weakness, Zekthara said, but his voice was less certain now. No, Commander. Sentimentality is what makes us human. It's what makes us protect each other. It's what makes us dangerous when someone threatens our children. General Chen picked up her cup again. The conversation was almost over. You have 3 options, she said. First, you can try to run. We'll follow you, forever if necessary. Second, you can try to fight. We'll destroy you. Or third, you can surrender and face justice for what you did. The Valorian Empire does not surrender to inferior species. Then we'll see how long your pride lasts, General Chen said. We humans are very patient. We used to hunt animals by following them for days until they collapsed from exhaustion. We called it persistence hunting. We're doing the same thing to you now. She smiled one more time. Sleep well, Commander. We'll be watching. Week 1 of the pursuit was uncomfortable for the Valorians. Week 2 was stressful. Week 3 became unbearable. The human ships never left. They followed the Valorian task force through 12 different star systems. When Zekthara tried to lose them by making random hyperspace jumps, the humans predicted every destination and arrived first. When he tried to hide in asteroid fields, human sensors found him within minutes. When he requested help from other Valorian fleets, the humans simply expanded their formation to track everyone. The medical broadcasts continued like clockwork. Every 6 hours. Every child. The reports had become familiar to every species in the galaxy. Patient Sophie Martinez, age 11. Second-degree plasma burns across left shoulder. Burns are healing normally. Note from physician. Sophie has requested to keep a piece of the burned skin when it falls off. She wants to preserve it as evidence. Other species started calling in to galactic news networks. The Centauri Council released a statement saying they were monitoring the situation with concern. The Andromedan Trade Federation closed their space to Valorian ships, not wanting to be caught in whatever was coming. The Peaceful Lumina Collective sent messages to both sides, begging for diplomatic resolution. The humans ignored everyone except the Valorians. Commander Jackson stood beside General Chen on the bridge of the Indomitable. 3 weeks of pursuit had taken its toll on both fleets, but the difference was striking. The human crew looked tired but determined. According to their intelligence, the Valorian crews were falling apart. Latest reports from our reconnaissance drones, Jackson said, handing Chen a datapad. The Valorians have had 17 separate equipment failures in the past 4 days, all caused by crew error. Their combat effectiveness is down to 60%. General Chen nodded. She had expected this. Humans were built for long hunts. Most species weren't. Any change in their course? They're heading for Sanctuary Station, neutral ground. They think galactic law will protect them there. Chen smiled. Good. Let them think that. On the Valorian flagship, Hive Commander Zekathara was watching his crew fall apart. His sensor operator had collapsed from exhaustion yesterday. His weapons officer kept seeing ghost contacts on the tactical display. 2 of his engineers had gotten into a physical fight over a minor repair issue. The constant pressure of being watched was breaking them. Commander, his communications officer clicked weakly. Another transmission from the humans. Same as always, patient, David Park, age 6, fractured collarbone and minor lacerations. Patient is recovering well. Note from physician. David drew a picture of the Valorian soldier who hurt him. He gave the soldier horns and labeled him a monster. The picture is displayed in his hospital room. Zekathara wanted to turn off the broadcasts, but if he did, his crew would panic. At least the transmissions kept a schedule. They were predictable. In the chaos of constant pursuit, predictability was oddly comforting. How long until we reach Sanctuary Station? Zekathara asked. 18 hours, Commander. 18 hours. Then they would be under the protection of galactic law. The humans would have to back off. The Valorian Empire could send reinforcements. This nightmare would end. Zekathara tried to believe that. Across the galaxy, other species watched and debated what was happening. The humans had turned war into a spectacle. They weren't fighting in the traditional sense. They were doing something much stranger and more disturbing. Ambassador Trell of the Centauri Council spoke to his government. The humans are demonstrating a new form of warfare. They're not destroying their enemy. They're psychologically dismantling them. The Valorians will reach Sanctuary Station as a broken force, and everyone will know it. On Earth, in the human capital city of Geneva, the United Nations Assembly was in emergency session. Every screen showed the same thing: the position of the Third Fleet still following the Valorians. Secretary General Williams addressed the Assembly. We have received thousands of requests for diplomatic intervention. Other species want us to stop the pursuit. They say we're being too aggressive. They say we're scaring the entire galaxy. She paused and looked around the room. Every representative from every human colony was present. I say we're showing the galaxy who we are. We're showing them what happens when you hurt our children. General Chen has my complete support. She has this assembly's complete support, and she has the support of every human parent in our space. The assembly voted. The resolution passed unanimously. The Third Fleet would continue its mission. Back on the Indomitable, General Chen received a personal message. It was marked private and encrypted. She opened it in her quarters. The message was from Marcus Chen's mother, her own sister. Sarah, I know you're busy. I just wanted to say thank you. Marcus is doing well. His arm is healing perfectly. He's already trying to ride his bike again, though the doctor says no. He asked about you every day. He wants to know if the mean bug soldiers are sorry yet. I told him you're working on it. Please be safe. We love you. General Chen read the message 3 times. Then she deleted it and returned to the bridge. The Valorian task force was 12 hours from Sanctuary Station now. Zekathara watched the human fleet waiting for them to break off. They had to respect neutral space. Galactic law was clear, but the human ship showed no sign of stopping. Commander, his navigation officer said nervously, the humans are adjusting their formation. They're spreading out. What are they doing? Unknown, Commander. They're maintaining pursuit distance but expanding their deployment around us. Zekthara studied the tactical display. The humans were creating a sphere around his task force. Every direction was covered. Every possible escape route was blocked. They were hurting him. 6 hours from Sanctuary Station, General Chen made a broadcast. This one wasn't a medical report. It was transmitted on every frequency in every language, to every station and ship in the sector. This is General Sarah Chen of the United Earth Fleet, commanding the 3rd Fleet. In 6 hours we will arrive at Sanctuary Station. At that time we will engage Valorian Task Force designate VTF 447 under the authority of the Terran Defense Act, Section 12, which authorizes military action in response to attacks on civilian transports carrying human citizens. She paused. Galactic Council observers are invited to witness. All civilian traffic should clear the area immediately. We have shown restraint for 3 weeks. We will now show justice. Chen out! The galaxy erupted in panic. Sanctuary Station was considered absolutely neutral. It was where diplomats met, where trade deals were negotiated, where enemies could talk without fear. If the humans attacked there, they would shatter centuries of tradition. The Galactic Council sent urgent messages. The station administration begged both sides to stand down. Dozens of species tried to intervene. The humans ignored them all. Zekthara realized with growing horror what was happening. The humans had never intended to let him reach safety. They had followed him to the most public place in the sector, specifically to make an example of him. This entire pursuit had been theater building to this moment. We need to fight, his tactical officer said. We cannot run anymore. If we fight, we might survive. Zekthara looked at his crew. They were exhausted, demoralized, and terrified. Their combat efficiency was below 50% now. The human fleet was fresh and ready. He had 3 options: try to run and be caught, fight and be destroyed, or surrender and face human justice. For the first time in his military career, Zekthara understood what it meant to be hunted. The humans had turned his task force into prey, and prey only had so many options. None of them were good. Send a message to the humans, he said quietly. Request terms for negotiation. General Chen received the message and smiled. Denied, she replied. You had 3 weeks to negotiate. That time is over. You will proceed to Sanctuary Station. You will dock. And when you do, we will board your vessels and take everyone involved in harming those children into custody. You can comply peacefully or we can do it the hard way. This is a violation of galactic law, Zekthara transmitted back. You cannot attack us at a neutral station. We're not attacking you, Commander. We're arresting you. There's a difference. And I've already cleared this with the station authorities. They've agreed to extradite everyone involved once we present the evidence. Zekthara's world collapsed. The humans had been planning this for weeks. Every step had been calculated. The pursuit, the pressure, the timing, everything had been designed to bring him to this exact moment. You cannot do this, he said weakly. The Valorian Empire will respond. Let them respond, General Chen said. We'll be ready. But right now, Commander, you're going to dock at that station. You're going to surrender your weapons, and you're going to face the consequences of hurting children who were under the protection of the United Earth government. The Valorian task force limped toward Sanctuary Station, surrounded by human warships. Every species in the sector watched. The humans had hunted their prey across 3 weeks and 12 star systems. Now they were moving in. Sanctuary Station was the largest neutral facility in the sector. It orbited a dead star, positioned perfectly between 4 major galactic powers. The station looked like a massive wheel spinning slowly in space, with docking spokes extending outward like metal branches. Today, it was surrounded by ships. The Valorian task force approached from one side. The human Third Fleet positioned itself on the other. Between them, dozens of observer vessels from the Galactic Council maintained a careful distance. News ships from 20 different species recorded everything. This moment would define interstellar law for generations. Station Administrator Krell was a Centauri, a species known for diplomatic skill and neutrality. He had managed Sanctuary Station for 30 years without a single violation of neutral space. Today, his forearm shook slightly as he prepared to make history. This is Sanctuary Station control to all vessels, Krell transmitted. The Galactic Council has reviewed the evidence presented by the United Earth government. After deliberation, We have determined that the Valorian Task Force VTF-447 committed acts of violence against civilians in neutral space, specifically targeting juveniles. He paused, his breathing apparatus whistling softly. Under Galactic Treaty 447, Section 9, perpetrators of such acts may be detained and tried regardless of neutral space protections. Sanctuary Station will cooperate with Earth authorities in the detention and extradition of all individuals involved. This decision is final. The galaxy watched in stunned silence. The Galactic Council had sided with the humans. Neutral space protections were being waived. The precedent was catastrophic for anyone who thought they could hide behind diplomatic immunity. On the Valorian flagship, Hive Commander Zekthara stood frozen. His mandibles clicked in distress. Around him, his crew made sounds of fear and anger. "We could fight," his weapons officer suggested desperately. "We could damage their fleet before they board us." "And be destroyed completely?" Zekthara said. "Look at the tactical display. They have us surrounded. Every angle is covered. They've been planning this for weeks," he was right. The human fleet had positioned itself with mathematical precision. Every ship had clear firing lines. Every Valorian vessel was targeted by at least 3 human warships. If fighting started, the Valorians would last minutes at best. "Then what do we do?" the weapons officer asked. Zekthara's mandibles spread in resignation. "We face what we created." General Chen stood on the bridge of the Indomitable, watching the displays. Her Marines were ready, 2,000 soldiers in full combat gear, waiting in the launch bays. These weren't ordinary soldiers. They were the Third Fleet's elite boarding units, trained specifically for ship-to-ship combat. Commander Jackson approached with a data pad. "Final equipment check complete. All units report ready. Medical teams are standing by. Legal observers from the Galactic Council are aboard and prepared to witness everything." "Good," Chen said. "I want everything recorded. Every step, every action, every word. This needs to be completely legitimate. They're not going to fight us, are they?" "No," Chen said. "They're broken. 3 weeks of pursuit did that. But we still treat them as dangerous until they're in custody. No mistakes." She activated the fleet-wide channel. "All Third Fleet vessels. This is General Chen. We are about to conclude a mission that began when someone made the catastrophic mistake of harming our children. What we do next will be watched by the entire galaxy. We will show them what human justice looks like. We will be firm, we will be fair, and we will be absolutely unstoppable. Every Marine boarding those ships carries the honor of Earth. Make us proud." Chen out. The Valorian Task Force began docking procedures. Their ships moved slowly, like wounded animals seeking shelter. The human fleet moved with them, maintaining constant coverage. When the Valorian flagship connected to Sanctuary Station, a squad of human Marines was already waiting at the airlock. Captain Sarah Reynolds commanded the first boarding team. She was 32 years old, a veteran of 4 major conflicts, and the mother of a 6-year-old daughter back on Earth. When she saw the medical reports of the injured children, she had volunteered immediately for this mission. The airlock opened. Valorian warriors emerged, their weapons powered down but still carried. They were huge, each standing over 2 meters tall on their 6 legs, covered in battle armor that looked like black insect shells. The human Marines were smaller, but they stood in perfect formation, weapons ready, faces hidden behind combat helmets. They didn't move. They didn't speak. They just waited. Zekthara came through last. He looked at the humans and felt something his species rarely experienced: genuine fear. Not of death. The Valorians didn't fear dying in battle. This was different. This was the fear of facing justice for actions he thought were justified. "Hive Commander Zekthara," Captain Reynolds said. Her voice was calm and professional through her helmet speakers. "You and your crew are being detained under authority of the United Earth government for acts of violence against civilian juveniles. You will be disarmed, processed, and transported to Earth for trial. You have the right to diplomatic representation. Do you understand these terms?" Zekthara's mandibles clicked slowly. "I understand. Will you comply peacefully?" There was a long moment of silence. Behind Zekthara, his crew watched. The Marines' weapons tracked every movement. Observers from a dozen species recorded everything. "We will comply," Zekthara said finally. What happened next was methodical and professional. The Marines separated the Valorian crew into groups. They scanned each warrior for weapons, biological threats, and hidden equipment. They processed everyone through portable terminals, recording names, ranks, and roles. Medical teams checked for injuries. Legal observers witnessed every step. It took 6 hours to process the entire task force. Not a single shot was fired. Not a single act of violence occurred. The humans moved through the Valorian ships like a well-oiled machine, documenting everything, securing everything, missing nothing. On the Indomitable, General Chen watched the operation unfold on multiple screens. Every boarding team had cameras. Every interaction was recorded and transmitted live to Earth and to the Galactic Council observers. "It's almost boring," Commander Jackson commented. "I expected more resistance." "They're defeated," Chen said. "We beat them 3 weeks ago. This is just the paperwork." One screen showed a particular moment that would become famous across the galaxy. A young Valorian warrior, barely an adult by his species standards, faced a human Marine. The Marine was checking him for weapons when the Valorian made a clicking sound. "I did not hurt the children," the warrior said through his translator. "I was not part of the inspection team. I was just a pilot." The Marine, a corporal named James Chen who happened to share a last name with Marcus, looked at him. "Then you have nothing to worry about. We're not here for revenge. We're here for justice. You'll get a fair trial. If you're innocent, you'll go home." The Valorian warrior's mandibles quivered. "You would let me go? After everything? If you didn't hurt kids, you didn't do anything wrong," Corporal Chen said simply. "We're angry at the ones who did, not at everyone who happens to be Valorian." That exchange was broadcast across every news network in the galaxy. It showed something that shocked many species. The humans were serious about justice, not vengeance. They were distinguishing between guilty and innocent even among their enemies. 8 hours after the boarding began, every Valorian who had been present during the transport ship inspection was in human custody. They were secured in holding cells aboard 3 different human ships. The rest of the Valorian crews were confined to the station but not arrested. General Chen made a final broadcast. "This is General Sarah Chen. The operation is complete. We have detained 47 Valorian military personnel who were directly involved in the attack on the transport ship Bright Future. They will be transported to Earth for trial under Terran law. All evidence has been preserved. Galactic Council observers have certified that this detention was conducted legally and professionally." She paused, looking directly at the camera. "To every species watching, Earth does not seek war. We seek justice. We accept that accidents happen. We understand that conflicts arise, but there are lines that cannot be crossed. Deliberately harming civilians, especially children, is one of those lines. We gave the Valorian Empire 3 weeks to make this right. They chose not to, so we made it right ourselves." Another pause. "To the Valorian Empire specifically, we have your people. They will face trial. If your government wishes to send diplomatic representatives, they are welcome. If you wish to challenge this action militarily, we are ready. But understand that we have shown remarkable restraint. We followed your task force for 3 weeks without firing a shot. We conducted a peaceful arrest of armed military personnel without casualties. We have proven we can be patient, professional, and absolutely determined." She leaned forward slightly. "Do not mistake professionalism for weakness. Do not mistake patience for fear. We are the descendants of persistence hunters who chased prey until it collapsed. We are the species that climbed to the top of our food chain through pure stubbornness. And we have just demonstrated that those traits work just as well in space as they did on ancient Earth." General Chen ended the broadcast and sat back in her chair. Around her, the bridge crew worked efficiently, coordinating the fleet 3 months after the arrest at Sanctuary Station. The trial concluded on Earth. The verdict was broadcast across the galaxy. 47 Valorian military personnel had faced human justice. 31 were found guilty of assault against civilians. 16 were cleared of charges. The sentences ranged from community service to 10 years of supervised labor, helping rebuild colonies damaged by various conflicts. But the real punishment had already happened during the 3-week pursuit. The Valorians had been broken psychologically long before they faced a judge. The most unusual part of the sentence came next. Every convicted Valorian would personally apologize to each child they had hurt, in person, face to face. This became known as the Apology Tour, and it changed the galaxy forever. Hive Commander Zekthara stood in a small room in Geneva, Earth's diplomatic capital. He was unarmed and unarmored, his insect body covered only by a simple cloth garment. 2 human guards waited outside. Through the window he could see the city stretching toward mountains in the distance. The door opened. A small human child entered, followed by his mother. Marcus Chen was 9 years old. His arm had healed completely, though a thin scar ran along the inside of his elbow. He walked right up to Zekthara and stared at him with open curiosity. "You're smaller than I remember," Marcus said. Zekthara's mandibles clicked in confusion. The human child showed no fear. He was studying Zekthara the way someone might study an interesting insect specimen. "Marcus," his mother said gently, "the commander has something to say to you." Zekthara had practiced this moment for weeks. He had been coached by human diplomats on the appropriate words and gestures. But now, facing this small creature who he had harmed, the prepared speech seemed inadequate. "I am sorry," Zekthara said, his translator converting his clicks into human speech. "I caused you pain. I broke your arm. This was wrong. My understanding of your species was incomplete. I treated you as a threat when you were innocent. I ask for your forgiveness." Marcus tilted his head, thinking. "Did you think humans were weak because I got hurt?" "Yes," Zekthara admitted. "That's dumb," Marcus said bluntly. "I broke my other arm last year falling off my bike. And I broke my leg the year before that climbing a tree. Human kids get hurt all the time. We heal. It's normal." His mother put a hand on his shoulder but didn't correct him. "My mom says you didn't understand the difference between hurt from playing and hurt from being mean," Marcus continued. "Like if I break my arm skateboarding, that's cool. I learned something. But if someone breaks my arm on purpose, that's different. That's wrong." "I understand this now," Zekthara said quietly. Marcus reached into his pocket and pulled out a small adhesive bandage, the kind human children used for minor cuts. It had cartoon characters on it. "Here. Mom says it's traditional to give bandages when someone is sorry. It means you want to help them heal." Zekthara looked at the tiny bandage. It would do nothing for his physiology. But he understood the gesture. He carefully took it with one of his manipulator appendages. "Thank you," he said. "Are you going to hurt any more kids?" Marcus asked directly. "Never," Zekthara said. "I swear this on the hive." "Good," Marcus said. He extended his hand, palm up. "Mom says this is how humans make peace. You shake hands." Zekthara carefully placed one of his appendages in the child's small hand. They shook once. Marcus grinned. "Your hand feels weird. Cool." That interaction was recorded and broadcast to billions of viewers. It showed the galaxy something profound. Human children were resilient not just physically but emotionally. Marcus held no hatred for Zekthara. He was curious, forgiving, and moved on quickly. But his mother, watching from the side, maintained eye contact with Zekthara the entire time. Her message was clear. "I forgive you because my son asks me to. But I will never forget. Touch my child again and nothing will save you." The apology tour continued for weeks. Each of the 21 children met their attackers. Some cried. Some were angry. Some, like Marcus, were simply curious. But all of them had the opportunity to face the ones who hurt them and hear them say sorry. 7-year-old Emma Rodriguez showed Zekthara her scars and explained that she thought they looked like lightning bolts. 11-year-old Sophie Martinez asked detailed questions about Valorian biology for a school report. 6-year-old David Park gave Zekthara a drawing he had made, showing the two of them shaking hands. Each interaction was different. Each child processed the experience in their own way. But they all shared one thing: they moved forward. They healed. They demonstrated the resilience that General Chen had laughed about. Human children bounced back from trauma, the same way they bounced back from broken bones. The galactic response to all of this was complicated. Some species praised Earth for showing restraint and justice. Others criticized the public nature of the apologies as humiliating. Many species simply recalibrated their understanding of humanity. The Centauri Council issued a detailed analysis that became required reading at every diplomatic academy. It said humanity presents a unique paradox. They deliberately expose their young to danger as a method of preparation. This creates individuals who are simultaneously vulnerable and incredibly resilient. The key distinction is between accepted risk and intentional harm. Species that fail to recognize this distinction do so at their peril. The Andromedan Trade Federation quietly updated their first contact protocols. A new section was added. When encountering human juveniles, treat them with the same diplomatic care as you would heads of state. Any harm to human young, intentional or accidental, should be reported immediately and addressed with maximum seriousness. Even the Valorian Empire changed. A new hive commander took control of their military. She issued a directive that was unprecedented in Valorian history. Human young are categorized as diplomatically protected individuals. Any Valorian military personnel who harms a human juvenile for any reason will face immediate court-martial. This directive overrides all previous cultural protocols. But the most significant change came in galactic law itself. The Galactic Council convened a special session and created a new legal framework. They called it the Chen Distinction, named after General Sarah Chen. The law stated, all sapient species recognize that juvenile development involves risk and potential harm. Member species agreed to distinguish between developmental harm and intentional harm. Developmental harm occurs through accident, play, exploration, or learning. Intentional harm occurs through deliberate action by sapient beings outside the juvenile's family or social group. Member species agree that intentional harm to juveniles of any species is treated as a Category 1 diplomatic incident, equivalent to an act of war. The law passed with overwhelming support. Every species signed it. The Chen distinction became the foundation of juvenile protection rights across the galaxy. 6 months after the incident, General Sarah Chen stood in her office looking at the picture on her desk. Marcus Chen, skateboarding with his healed arm, giving a thumbs up. Next to it was a new picture, all 21 children together at a ceremony honoring the Third Fleet. Commander Jackson entered without knocking. You need to see this, sir. He handed her a datapad. It showed a news report from the Valorian homeworld. Their government was establishing a new cultural exchange program. Valorian young would travel to Earth to learn about human childhood. The goal was to understand why humans raise their children in ways that seem dangerous, but produce such resilient adults. They're trying to copy us, Jackson said with amusement. Let them try, Chen replied. It took humans millions of years to evolve this way. But if it makes them think twice before hurting someone else's children, I'll take it. Another message arrived. This one was marked personal and private. Chen opened it and her expression softened. It was from Zekthara, still on Earth serving his sentence. He was working at a human hospital, helping with rebuilding efforts. The message was simple. General Chen, I write to inform you that I have completed my service at Geneva Medical Center. During my time there, I observed human medical treatment of juveniles. I watched children recover from injuries that would be fatal to young of many species. I saw them laugh while still in pain. I witnessed their remarkable capacity for healing. I understand now why you laughed when I first contacted you. Not from cruelty, but from the vast gap in understanding between our species. I have learned much. I hope to carry these lessons back to my people. With respect, Zekthara. Chen read it twice, then filed it away. She didn't respond. There was nothing more to say. That evening, she attended a small gathering at her sister's house. Marcus was there, showing off his healed arm to his cousins. He was already planning his next adventure. Talking about learning to rock climb, isn't that dangerous? One of the cousins asked. Yeah, Marcus said happily. That's the point. Mom says I have to be careful, but I also have to learn my limits. How else will I know what I can do? The adults around him smiled. This was the human way. Let children take risks in controlled environments. Let them learn through experience. Let them build strength by recovering from failure. It seemed insane to most galactic species. But humans had evolved on a planet that actively tried to kill,